Today, I want to share with you some of my personal beauty and wellness tips, and I hope that they help you too. First one up is water. Let me tell you, water is one of those things that I feel like goes a little unnoticed, but I've given the beauty tip before and I'm going to give it to you again. If you can use filtered, high quality, I should say, filtered water, the ones that filter all those forever chemicals, I think it's also beneficial to your face. This year I've started to use the Epic water pitcher, the Epic water filters, and I have to say, upon using it, I made a couple short videos. You can check them out here on YouTube, but the taste in itself was night and day from the other water pitcher filter that I was using. It changes the way your coffee tastes. It changes the way your ice tastes if you're using an ice machine. You know, I've got Minnie back here behind me that loves the taste of it too. So it has internal as well as external benefits. And when you want a little refresh on your face, I've been using, going back to the OG of Evian water. Another thing that I love to do is I love to incorporate those good adaptogens, aka mushrooms, into my diet. The thing that made me a huge believer in the mushrooms for humans was the way, or the impact I should say, that it had on my almost 18-year-old pug for the entire last year of his life when he was suffering with seizures. We did get him on some pharmaceutical medication, but even after we did that, the seizures did not go away. In fact, for a short period of time, they actually intensified and got worse until I got him on an adaptogen blend. After a couple weeks, he literally never had another seizure. And what I notice is whenever I start to use this mushroom blend more regularly, I feel more even. And so I will link the blend that I use below. It's really a personal thing. I also love to use a blend of mushrooms in my coffee sometimes, and that includes collagen, which is a nice additive if you feel like it helps you. Sleep is a tricky one because we all know that sleep matters so much. And I started to really get frustrated after a year and a half of not being able to sleep regularly because I was getting up throughout the night to help with my dog whose system was compromised. One thing I did notice though is that listening to some type of meditative music at night was really helpful in relaxing my nervous system. Of course, it did not always help fully because if you are not able to sleep because you have a small child, someone that has special needs, or an animal like I did that was compromised, these things are going to be more challenging. But hopefully with the supplements and maybe something to help you calm your nervous system like the music and maybe a little meditation, I'm talking about like 5 minutes in the morning. Those are all things, positive affirmations, that helped me sort of get by whenever I was really lacking that sleep the most. And of course, I have to mention magnesium because I feel like I can really tell the difference with my relaxation mode whenever I forget to take my magnesium. I take magnesium glycinate. If you do not have access to that, or if you want maybe an alternative that's a little bit more affordable, taking a salt bath can also be comforting. I have to talk about eye health for a second because I'm really a huge advocate of eye health. I talk a lot on my channel about eye hygiene, how to properly care for your eyes. As someone with sensitive eyes, a high prescription that has had a myriad of issues, I think that the more we can do to prevent eye problems, the better off we're going to be. So I can't not tell you about some tips that I do besides taking eye vitamins, supplements that are healthy for the eyes, omegas, things like that. I really believe that using a proper eyelid cleanser, and I'll link that below, is going to be really helpful. I use OcuSoft. Also, I recommend using hydrating eye drops throughout the day to prevent that dryness, especially because so many of us have dry eye disease. And because that has been such a big hiccup for me, especially with the last few months of dealing with all these eye issues, I have had to mention eye health. While I'm on it, I'm just going to squeeze in less sugar because I don't want to go on and on about how you shouldn't eat too many donuts. You know what I mean? We all love donuts, but maybe we can just eat a little bit less of it. That mindset of not depriving myself, but just maybe having a little bit less than what I might want has been really helpful. So maybe that tip can be helpful for you too. Okay, so Minnie's gonna join me now here for the last few tips, but because I've been trying to get my immune system back on track, my energy back on track, trying to feel some level of normalcy after these past few months, taking the right supplements has really been helpful. And I do believe, because we're all bio-individual, I'm not going to be able to recommend for you personally, the vitamins you should take. I feel like you probably have a good idea or indication of what you need based on your possible symptoms. So for me, because I was having the eye stuff, my eye doctor said, "Are you taking vitamin C?" I said yes. I upped the ante on that. I went to a natural health grocery store, a big one that you all know, and someone was extremely nice and helpful in having me pick out one that was more whole food oriented. I'm also using vitamin D because a lot of us are deficient. I'm also taking B complex because it's good for your nervous system. And I feel like that's something that I always need. I also know that my grandpa used to get B12 shots. So just knowing that about my genetic history makes me kind of like raise a little brow, like, maybe that wouldn't hurt me either. Also, I mentioned taking the mushrooms. So, the adaptogens, those are obviously supplements as well, things to help me relax at night. I'm also using the omegas. I really love Barleans. I did a video recently for them. I purchased their stuff for years. So I was really excited to do a video for them because I only do videos on products for you that I genuinely have used. One of the things that I used to do during COVID, which I sort of got out of the habit because, you get busier, life changes a little bit, and then you don't have quite as much room or don't make as much room or prioritize things the same way you did when you had twice the amount of time, right? Just working from home, or things being different, I should say, working from home, because working from home is still really challenging. But celery juice was something that I did for a very long time. And I could do a whole video on how celery juice helped me. So if you want to know about that, let me know and I'll give you more information on that. But I've started incorporating it. But because it's so expensive, when you buy a bottle, at a health food store, it can be like $10. What I have found is that while it's not maybe as great because, it's not as fresh as squeezing it yourself or buying it from someone who just squeezed it yesterday, I will get the celery juice with a little bit of lemon juice in it at my local grocery store here in Texas. It's called H-E-B. And I will get that for a fourth of the price, maybe keep a handful of them in my fridge and just drink it 2-3 times a week in the morning on an empty stomach. Another thing that I've been doing is rebounding. I've been a huge advocate and, rebound enthusiast, I should say, for many, many years. Like 20 years ago when I watched Chris Carr and her videos, or in her movie, if you're familiar with her, she's a wellness guru. So I've had a rebounder off and on for a very long time, but I do believe in the benefits of rebounding, especially in the morning, right when you get up, for a couple of minutes, just to get things going in your system. And then at a different part of the day, maybe I haven't had time to walk, or the weather is not, pleasant, I can always lean on rebounding as a source of exercise that's inexpensive, that's convenient in my house. One more note, we've already talked about water, but in the same vein of speaking about water, I've never been great at drinking enough water, let's say. So what I've found that has worked for me is just incorporating some type of sugar-free electrolytes. I'm allergic to artificial sugar, so it has to be something like stevia or monk fruit in mine. But I found one that I really like. It works for me and I can use it throughout the day. I don't even have to use a full serving, some just like a partial serving sometimes. So not only does it give me more electrolytes, but it also keeps me motivated to drink that water. If you like this type of information, please make sure and like and subscribe to my channel and set that notification bell. The more you know, the more you glow. Ciao for now.